Hey y'all. All right. As you can see, we're under the back of my 92 D150, and today I'm working on the shackles, getting them out. It's been kind of rough going, but first I want to say thank you to everybody for your likes and your shares and your subscribes. It's really been tremendously helpful for the channel's growth. I thank you a lot for that. It's just been a phenomenal to see the channel grow and everything. Uh, and some of y'all are, putting out some really great comments, and I really appreciate that too. So, how about we go ahead and get started on this? I'm changing out the shackles because I'm going to a lowering shackle. See, and I've talked about this in some of the other previous videos, and look to be pretty decently made. I mean, yeah. So what I'm going to do is swap these, get this bolt out of here. It's been a real booger, and try to get this bolt the rest of the way out. I got it to hammer. I hammered it down to here, so I've got to keep going, and so I've got a short punch, and I've got a hammer, and I'm going to see if I can drive it the rest of the way out. So, all right. Anyway, let's see if I can set the camera up here so that you all can see what in the world is going on. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'll tell you, I'm going to pause the camera, and I'm going to bring you back when I get this bolt driven out. It's been a real booger, and I know I'm going to have to be over here in the way, and I don't want to be in the way. So I'll be right back in just a minute. Okay, y'all. I've got the bolt driven out. It's right here in my hand. So now you'll see there's another bolt just like it right up here. And you also notice there's no place in the frame to take the bolt out. There's a hole right there, but it's not big enough really to get the bolt out. See, I've got the head of the bolt won't go through there, so it's like, well, son of a gun. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get this up here, and get it to where I can get the bolt to go out that way. So I think this one's going to be maybe a little bit easier than the bottom one. The bottom one's been a real monster. So anyway, okay. Let me set this down, and let's see, can I? Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use the floor jack under the rear axle to jack this up. Let's see. So there we go. So that looks like that will come on out. Hopefully. Notice I said hopefully. Okay, so that turns independent of that. All right, that moved. Took a little bit, but I got it to move. Got it to go the way I wanted it to go. Trying to keep from damaging the threads on the bolt. I don't want to damage the threads. I'd like to reuse these bolts if I can. I mean, I know I may have to replace them, and that's okay. But if I can reuse them, that would be even better. Okay. All right. Now I'm getting up here to where I can get the bolt to go the way I want it to go. Yeah. Let's see, can you all still see what I'm doing? I think so. Yeah, okay. So, there we go. All right. Okay. Oh. Okay, well. Had to jack up the rear axle a little bit more. And a little bit more again. Okay. So, give you a close-up look. See, now the bolt is above the frame rail. So now I can drive it out and get it out. Use my punch, the chisel on it. Okay, that one just came right out. Although they've been in there. Sorry if my head was in the way. They've been in there since 1992. So, kind of understand why they're a little difficult. Okay, let's see. Bushings look okay. They don't look perfect, but they look all right. I mean, especially for 1992, they look really good. Yeah, because, I mean, like, yeah, I've seen a lot of these. I mean, I see some cracking, but it's not bad. It really isn't. I've seen a lot of them where that bushing, the rubber is like falling out, hanging out, or just crumbling. So, anyway, okay. All right. Okay. So, I'm going to get some brushes and get some stuff to clean with. And I'm going to clean the inside of that metal sleeve out inside there. See, inside that bushing, they have, get you over here. See, there's a metal sleeve inside that bushing. And see, like that. There's a metal sleeve in there. And that sleeve, you can grow rust in there. And what you want to do is you want to clean all the crap out of there. And this one, I'm not going to do it on this one. But this is just like what's up there in the leaf spring bushing. So I'm going to clean that out. I'm going to clean the bolts up and the nuts and get them ready to go. And I'll pick this, I'm going to pause this video and I'll pick it back up in just a minute. Alright, y'all, I am back over here. I'm on the vise, and I've got one of the leaf spring bolts clamped in the vise. I've been cleaning out the threads with my tap here, and it's a half 20 thread. This is kind of nice to do because it gets all the imperfections out of the threads. Like if threads are damaged, you know, when they were coming out of the bushing or something like that, or it got damaged, you know, from the hammering or something of that nature. I did this one too already. Also, I chucked this bolt into my drill, and I took the drill and I put it in the vise, and went over it, had the drill motor turning with this chucked into the drill. And I'll tell you what, I'll show you in just a minute, okay? I'll show you all that in just a minute. I'm gonna take a tap and go through. Oh, tap for this die. Sorry, die. Okay. Anyway, I'll be right back and show you a little bit more. Okay, I'm back, and I've got the bolt chucked up in the drill, and I'm just going to do this number. Not too bad. Now I'm going to take some sandpaper to it and just do the same thing. Do that again. Okay, not too bad. So that's just a good, easy, quick way to like clean the rust and corrosion off your bolts. I mean, see how this one looks so much better than what it did. There's a little bit of minor pitting in this bolt, but it's not bad. It really isn't. I mean, it's definitely very usable. And I went ahead and cleaned the threads out in the nuts too, and ran my tap through there. And so, and ran the die over the bolts, the threads on the bolts, to get them cleaned out and get them where they will just thread on there really easy. No issues anymore. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so use a little brake parts cleaner, clean everything up. Alright, there we go. I'll let you see that dirt right here. That's from these bolts I just cleaned up. So it really does help, because now watch what I do here. So, all right. There, just my fingers, run it all the way down. That is a good way to rehabilitate the nuts and bolts, the hardware you got there, and reuse them. Sometimes that is a really effective way to do. It's very effective to do this, and sometimes it can be really nice because it saves you some money. So, I mean, that's just going on there like butter. I mean, that's just great. So, all right, and this didn't take just a few minutes. Okay, maybe 15 minutes to clean these two bolts up. All right, so let's get back over to the truck, show you how to put all of that together. Oh, first I'm going to clean up that leaf spring bushing, and then I'm going to show you how to put all of that back together. Okay, be right back. Okay, y'all, I'm back under here. I've got the leaf spring bushing cleaned out the center of it, and I'll show you what I used. It's really not very complex at all. Just some engine cleaning brushes like this. Run that back and forth through there a few times, and some brake parts cleaner, and that's it. That's all there was to it, to clean it out. So now, getting to the good part here of putting that new shackle in, that lowering shackle. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you these, there's not a left or a right to them, but I'm going to set them up pretty much how like the factory shackle was, and I will give you, see, there's the new one, right here's the old one. You can see pretty drastic difference there. What's great about these, you can go back to the factory original if you like. I'm going to hang on to them just in case I need them, but hopefully I won't. And also, you will need to use a little spacer on the bolt for the that goes through the leaf spring bushing itself. You will have to do that. Outside of that, that's the only little issues that you'll run across. Want to try to use like you can use like washers. Try to use like a thicker, hardened steel washer, flat washer if you can. If all you can got is just like cheaper regular flat washers, you can use those too. They may not hold up as well though, but yeah. So anyway, now comes the part a lot of people don't like, and that is the anti-seize. Although I like it. Why I like anti-seize as much as I do is because it saves me a lot of work. It saves me a lot of time. Yes, you will get it on your fingers. No, you won't look like the Tin Man or some crap like that. That is just a internet meme. If you want to know how good this stuff works, the other side over there, I didn't film it, but I can guarantee you that other side, the passenger side, the driver side that I've already done, it just came right apart. No issues, no drama, no problems. It just came right apart. That was that. None of this beating and banging and hammering like I was doing over here. Okay, I'm going to have to, this shackle hanger right here, I'm going to have to bend that tab out. That tab right there is bent over a little bit. I'm going to have to spread it open just a little bit. Okay, that worked. I have to do a little bit more. Okay, I can't remember what I put the other side at. I think I put it on the last hole. I'm going to pause this real quick and go see. Okay, we're back. And I'm gonna go ahead and get, trying to make sure I get the camera angle right so you can see what's going on. I'm trying to make sure and get this. Oh, that's nice. That's nice of it, wasn't it? Just fell right over. That son of a gun. Oh boy. There we go. Okay. Now I gotta get it. Let's see. Good grief. Here's what I'm fighting. That bolt isn't completely lined up. It needs to go up a little bit. So good grief. So you see what I'm up against. It just needs to go up just a little bit, and it's going to be a little bit, and it'll be fine. All right, I'm gonna keep working on this, but the bolt's got to come through. I'm gonna put the nut on. Right, the bolt's got to come through, and I got to put the nut on. So I'm gonna keep working on this, and I'm gonna pause this because this is kind of boring. So. Okay, so we're back now. I had to straighten this up. This got a little beat up, and so I had to straighten this up. It was a little bit twisted, a little bit too much. I had to straighten it back up. You saw me prying it out this way, and that was wrong. I had to pry it back, and honestly, though, I think prying it out this way was necessary, but of course I had to go back because when I would put the bolt in this way through here, it was pitching that bolt entirely wrong, and it was making it go this way, and I couldn't get it to line up with the hole in the back. So, which, as you can see, it's all the way through, and see, all right. So, got it anti-seized. It isn't tightened up yet, but got the leaf spring ready for that, and that gap right there in the leaf spring, that is what I've been talking about. You need to have some sort of bushing or spacer spacer, sorry, not bushing, but a spacer to go in there. And if you don't, you can have problems. So you got to have some sort of spacer to go in there. I'm going to use, I have some hardened washers here in front of me, like these. I'm going to make sure they go on the bolt, that they will work with the bolt. They're not too big. See, something like that I think will be perfect. I'm going to probably use one. There's enough room for like, almost enough room for two. I'm not going to use two. I'm just going to use one, and then I'm going to kind of tighten down the bolt, and get it where I want it. Of course, I'm going to use anti-seize. Very important. Suspension components like this, they see a lot of dirt, a lot of moisture, a lot of grime, filth, and just spent a few minutes cleaning all of that off these bolts. And like I said, that other side, the driver's side over there, it just came right apart. I mean, and that's what I'm saying, why it saves you time. Sure, you get it on you. Hey, guess what? They invented these things called blue towels, and they're pretty good to help get the excess of that stuff off. Okay? So, you know, see, here's some on my fingers. I'm going to wipe it off, and then we're not going to look like the Tin Man. Okay? So, no big deal. Now, this bolt that goes in the leaf spring, I'm going to go the opposite way of this one. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. But the trick here is I'm going to put the bolt in, and then I got to put the washer in there. Take up the extra clearance. Now, the reason why that does not tighten up there, is not snug up against that bushing right there, is because this fits the later Ram 1500 series trucks, and their leaf spring was a little bit wider. So there you go. So, I'll take this up. See if that's where we need it. Sit that there for right now. There we go. Alrighty. Now, since I put the bolt backwards, I've got to put the nut on the back side back here. But here's where I kind of goofed up. So I got to pull this bolt back out just a little bit. Okay, all right, got that threaded on there. I do not know what the torque is, but I'm going to go look it up right now, and I'm going to tell you. I will tell you. Okay? Matter of fact, I'll bring you all with me. And we'll go look in the book together. Be right back. Alrighty, y'all. Over here at the manual, the Chilton's Dodge and Plymouth trucks, 89 to 96. And right here, U-bolts, 65 foot-pounds. Shackle bolts and eye bolts, 95. And that's for the 1/2 inch, and that's what I have. Okay. But I have to lower the truck to its normal position with the weight back on the springs. So that's what I got to do. So, and well, here's my floor jack, so I can do that now. So I'm going to do that real quick. And, oh, the bolts for those bolts that I cleaned off the head on them is 13/16. And I'll get back under here because I got to move a bunch of stuff before I use the jack under here to let this down. Get it off the jack stands. But let's see here. Okay. All right, this bolt here, that's 13/16. The nut over here, that is, oh, sorry. That nut right there on the other end of that bolt, that is 3/4. And same thing up here, 13/16 and 3/4 nut. So, all right. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to let this thing down, get it off the jack stands, and let you all see it lowered down, and let you see the front and the rear all together. There is like a couple more adjustments on these new shackles, so I can change, there's like at least 2 more holes. I can change things. So I may be down too far. So, all right, I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna get to work. Be right back. All right, y'all. Okay, I don't have it lowered down yet. As you can see, there's plenty of light under the tires there. But I just want to pass along a couple little bits of information. When you do this, work yourself or have it done by somebody else, make sure and check that the shackle, as it's moving through its range of motion, it's not coming into contact with anything. See, like right up there, I've got all the weight on the axle now. So, as you can see, the nut back there is close to that rivet. Let me get here in a better position so I can show you. Yeah, see, it's close to that rivet right there, but it doesn't make contact. Okay? Now, maybe when the suspension is loaded down with something, it will. And then I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But make sure you don't have anything coming up in the way. Now, of course, I can go back and change the way those bolts go in. I can do that. So that's not a big deal either. Also, when you're jacking a vehicle up real quickly, real easily, when you're jacking one up, make sure to listen, okay, and hear your jack stands. They'll kind of release. When you get the weight off of them, they'll make a little clink. Okay, so when you're jacking one up, make sure you do that. Listen for that. And that just tells you the weight's off the jack stands. They're pretty much ready to come out. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Be right back. All right, y'all. Here we are. We're back. And it's down. All the weight is on the suspension now. As we can see, got a little bit less room. I don't mind if the rear end is up just a little bit from the from the front end. You can see right here, it's a little closer than what it was, but I think we'll be okay. Of course, I am going to drive it, make sure that everything's all right, but this, of course, does need to be aligned, so that plays a big role in all of that. I'm going to do what's known as a backyard alignment and just get things basically good enough to where I'm not going to be killing the tires if I take it for a test drive down the road or something. But I think this is going to work. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this really well. It has a nice look to it. I love the way, I mean, of course, need to pull it outside, have a look at it, see what it looks like outside, and I'll do that soon enough. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to change those top bolts, the leaf spring bolt. I'm going to turn that thing around because that was my mistake. I thought I was being clever. No, not really. That's okay. That's not something we can't fix. Let's see. Where did I? There's my measuring tape. I don't remember what the measurement was the other day. I measured this in a previous video, the height from the center of the fender lip down. So I'm going to try to do this one-handed. So I'll have to, so we're at a little bit less than 32 inches. And we're at like 31 3/4. So that's not too bad. Let's go measure the other side. So I'm loving this, which I've wanted to lower this truck for like ever since I bought it in '96. So it's 31 even over here. So, okay. A little bit lower over here. But the battery sits over here too, in the bed. And I've got a couple of other batteries in the bed too. So, oops. Oh, and the spare tires over here too. So that might make a little bit of a difference right there. But anyway. Alright, and got the same amount of leaves and the leaf springs on both sides. So, anyway. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. I think the work is worth it. Now, let me get something really clear, make it really clear and get this out of the way so that you all can understand more about this. The tools I used, matter of fact, all the tools that's been used on this project for the front suspension and the rear suspension, all of it was here in this garage. Okay, now I did replace a couple of things I broke, but I have to correct myself. I did have to buy that Sunex ball joint socket, so that is one tool I didn't have here. I did make a socket, sort of, and it worked okay. It wasn't great, but it worked well enough. I know on the other side it wouldn't have worked over there, but that was like less than 20 bucks. I think it was tax and all and shipping. It was like $22 and something like that. But anyway, so and I did all of this right here in this tiny little garage. So you might say, well, you've got a lot more experience than I do or something like that, but the thing of it is that if you do this yourself, then you know how to do it again, and you know how to do it on like another truck. And here, let me straighten some things out here for you. The front suspension on this, very, very similar to like Mopar A bodies, B bodies, C bodies. Yeah, very similar. Not identical. No, not identical. I'm not saying identical. I'm not saying the I word. But I am saying that the suspension is very similar. I've noticed a lot of similarities. the screw in ball joints, the lower press in ball joints, and also the camber and caster adjustment eccentrics. All of those, they're on these A bodies right here. These, you know, they're on A bodies, they're on B bodies and C bodies. So, you know, classic Mopar muscle car era Mopars, they have the same thing. So they just have torsion bars instead of coil springs in the front. Okay, and these leaf springs, there are some differences. Okay, but very similar to these here too, and the B bodies and the C bodies. So again, not identical. But there are some strong similarities. Okay, so okay, this video is very long, and I do apologize about that. And but I felt like there was a whole lot of information I'm passing along, and I feel like it's worth it. So if you want to break this video up into segments and watch it in segments, that's fine. I should probably have made it in segments, but you know, hey, when you're on a roll and you got momentum going and you're getting stuff done, you really don't want to quit sometimes. Oh, and one other little thing. Be sure to check your pinion angle on your rear axle after you lower it, because if you don't, you could wind up with that that pinion on the rear axle being at the wrong angle, and then it causes to wear out that U-joint or both U-joints prematurely. So let's don't, check those. Make sure you got those correct. Okay. All right. I'm tired. All right. Been up since 6 o'clock this morning. So I know. Poor me. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate you all very, very much. And, you all are responsible for making the channel grow and everything else. And I'm just really happy about that. Okay? Thank you so much. And if you got any questions about this or any other videos, you know what to do. You're smart. Put it down there in the comment section down below. I'll get to you and try to answer your questions as soon as humanly possible. Thank you very much. God bless.